Let's go back to the chart. We'll start with the chart for AMD, and then let's dive into what we heard from the investor day. A producer said he had an amazing time producing that. So a lot of good stuff there. All right, looking at the AMD chart here, we did bounce off of one of the recent levels that we have identified. That was going to be about 226.69. That bounce continued to recapture the 20-day moving average. And we're kind of dancing around that average today with the gap above that. We definitely want to close above 246.43. AMD here, 252.50 in the pre-market. If we take a look inside, you can see how the action was here today. We popped in the after hours yesterday, resolved higher in the after hours, and higher still in the pre-market today. So we'll see where AMD goes. I know a lot of you have been bullish on AMD recently. Looks like that's paying off here, at least from the investors' day so far. Let's go ahead and take a look at what happened here. AMD shares are getting a lift in the after hours on Tuesday following the company's analyst day. The chip maker provided new long-term growth targets at the event. AMD held its first financial analyst day in 3 years on Tuesday, highlighting a broad portfolio of hardware, software, and solutions to power high performance and AI compute. AMD shares are popping in extended hours trading and then popping even more here in the pre-market after the company said it expects a greater than 35% revenue compound annual growth rate over the next 3 to 5 years. The chipmaker also guided for non-GAAP operating margins above 35%, as well as adjusted earnings per share of more than $20 on an annual basis. AMD said the growth will be led by its AI data center business, which is expected to grow at a compound annual rate of more than 80%. The company also noted that it expects to achieve more than 50% of server CPU revenue market share over the next 3 to 5 years, with gross margins ranging from 55 to 58%. That's according to Benzinga Pro. AMD is entering a new era of growth fueled by our leadership and technology roadmaps and accelerating AI momentum. That came from Lisa Su, chair and CEO of AMD. She goes on to say, with the broadest portfolio of products and our deepening strategic partnerships, AMD is uniquely positioned to lead the next generation of high performance and AI computing. We see a tremendous opportunity ahead to deliver a sustainable, industry-leading growth. We have never been better positioned. AMD said its Instincts MI350 series GPUs are ramping faster than any product in the company's history. The company's MI450 series GPU are expected in the third quarter of 2026, with a planned MI500 series anticipated to launch in 2027. So AMD business update, definitely positive there. Popped it in the after hours yesterday, held the pop all throughout the after hours, and is trying to go a little bit higher today. The market is being cooperative with that as we still have green arrows ahead of the open here today. Now, we talked a little bit about AMD possibly catching up a little bit to NVIDIA. One of the things that we discussed on Happy Hour yesterday is that, you know, part of the NVIDIA selling here, it's really a thought of, well, how much more can I get? What's it actually going to take for NVIDIA to trade up 20% versus what would it take for AMD to trade up 20%? Looks like AMD has probably a little bit easier runway of doing that, and perhaps that can have investors shift their focus from NVIDIA to AMD. Did sound like the investors' day was great. So, or at least positive for everything that they discussed. So let me know if you have a new trade here on AMD, or if you're looking for a new trade, or what you plan to do with your existing AMD position.